What's going on, everybody? It is time for our top 4 people, top 4 teams. A lot of you probably didn't expect some of these top 4 teams. I'm sure everybody wanted to be in the top 4. I apparently am in the top 4, which is a scary thought. I don't think I've ever been in the top 4. So let's go ahead and remember that these are preseason rankings, and postseason's going to be a lot different. And by postseason, I of course mean post-draft. So let's get into the rankings. Of course, everybody knows this song by Oasis. If you don't like Oasis, you're in the wrong room. And I think Ryan, myself, and Jeff, and I don't know if John, did you listen to much Oasis? Probably. You're probably in the wrong room if you're not liking this song right now, so let's get into it here. If I can pause it, there we go. Alright, so we're going to start with our number 4 team. Probably not really expected, but I'm sure the team did expect it themselves, is Country Strong. So they, of course, were ranked number 1 on my AA list, which I think that was correct. I still stand by that, even though this is only like 3 days after writing it. I really think that Country is making some really good moves that, kind of like Vinny, it's only a matter of time before this team is the best team in the league. It might not be this year, kind of again like Vinny, but at some point, all of these young, talented players on this team are going to take over the league. Like the next crop of good fantasy baseball players, so many of them seem to reside in Country Strong right now. It's just a matter of trying to figure out when and can they all break out at the same time, as opposed to all being staggered and then never actually winning anything. Because that can happen. You know, you end up with these teams where it's like, man, Jose Ramirez was fantastic last year, but, you know, Joey Gallo was terrible and Tatis sucked and, you know, couldn't quite bring them together, or, you know. So let's start looking at some actual individuals on this team. I think you're going to immediately look at the hitting. Full roster. Of course, some of these guys probably aren't the starters that are actually in there. The doc puts bench guys up front, assuming it's the starter. So some of these guys probably aren't going to start. Alvarez and Reyes are both DH only guys, which Weist has had Ortiz for all those years, so he's been kind of that guy who has these DH only types and can make it work. Having two up at the same time, I foresee probably one, if not both, probably going to AAA, one of them on the bench probably, something like that. So keep that in mind. Boy, would it be nice if one of them would actually have a position, though. Geez. Torres would have been amazing if this was still true here, the second base eligibility. LeMahieu just signed with the Yankees again for big amount and a long time. So Torres, if he's going to stay a Yankee, he's going to play shortstop, because LeMahieu is not going to play shortstop. So Torres was going to lose that second base eligibility, which actually really hurts Country Strong if you start to dig deeper into the team, because he's got Tatis. This dude he might be my favorite player. I mean, Aaron Judge aside, probably. Tatis is awesome. The whole thing, I know I spoke about this last year, and I think that we all generally agree. All these old guys and their don't flip the bat, baseball's not supposed to be fun, and all this garbage. I just love that this guy smashes all that in the face. He's out there having fun, and I think that, honestly, his persona alone has helped San Diego's entire franchise have a different mental state. Manny Machado is one of these guys that I feel like rather gives you good effort if he cares, but he gives you bad, terrible effort and has bad years if he doesn't care. When he's with the Dodgers, I feel like he was there to try to win, but he didn't care. He wasn't feeling it there. He just wasn't having fun. He's getting in fights with people. He's stepping on people's feet and throwing helmets at people. He goes to San Diego, and he's sitting next to Tatis in the lineup, and all of a sudden, these guys together are hitting back-to-back dongs like it's, like it's candy out there. So not only is Tatis good for baseball and good for San Diego, like I just love the guy. What he does is fantastic, and he's gonna be a top 10 player, and this contract is probably now the best one in the entire league. It was Trout, it was Bellinger, and it might still be Bellinger, but this one right now is got to be up there, if not 1-2. Jose Ramirez was interesting because he had MVP seasons after MVP seasons. I don't think he actually won the MVP, but then he had a down year. And we apparently decided that that's all we needed to see. This guy's not for real. Throw him to the Wolves. Well, that was opportunity for Weist because he went ahead and gave him an amazing contract, 3 years at that time, 2 now. And yeah, he's back to hitting like he's an MVP. Lindor's gone from Cleveland, so that's not going to help. But I think that good hitters are less reliant on their teammates than we think. I mean, if your team's really bad, like Pittsburgh bad, and you have, like, if Jose Ramirez played for Pittsburgh, he would obviously get less counting stats. But if you just remove one player from a pretty good team, your good hitter is still going to be good. Outfield is full. This is kind of bittersweet to me because I feel like this outfield's good. Gallo underperformed. Reyes isn't outfield. Meadows is solid. I feel like he has too many outfielders, but I also feel like, boy, it'd be nice if one of them was better, like a top, 30. Obviously, we all want top 30 players, but is this outfield strong enough to go with the rest of this team, especially given that Torres isn't going to play, and Alvarez won't be at first base, and Reyes won't be in the outfield? Will he maybe try to make a move to take out some of the outfield depth for maybe like a 2-for-1-er where I get somebody back that's better, this kind of thing? However, let's just go over this one more time. This right here is why Weist is in the top 4. This might be the best hitting lineup going into this year's draft, right off the top. He's got good cap. His ARB guys are not going into ARB years, so this cap is going to stick, unless I'm missing somebody, which I don't see anybody. But let's now talk about pitching. Musgrove. He pitched for Pittsburgh. The team's brutal. They might be the worst MLB franchise of all time. Maybe one of the worst franchises in all of sports of all time. I believe that the Lions are actually the worst. Come at me. I don't know how they're not. Maybe the Kings. I don't know. Sacramento. They're pretty bad. But at least they went to the championship and lost. They got screwed because it was rigged. Anyway, or maybe they. I can't remember. Whatever. All I know is Pittsburgh is awful. So he pitched for Pittsburgh, and he was okay, and now he's on the move, and he should be better. I guess now is the time that we find out, is Musgrove actually good, or is he not? We'll find out this year for sure, and I'm happy to finally find that out. But just under him, Mitch Keller, here you go. It's Musgrove 3 years later, pitching for Pittsburgh, brutal. So as much as I might like Mitch Keller and his contract, we sit here and say, dang it, I still got to pitch for this garbage team. Max Fried is also interesting because he's actually a good pitcher, and he had a really good year, and I don't know what to make of this guy. Is he a superstar or is he not? I'm not sure. This might be one of the pitchers that I'm the most unsure of out of anybody on any of your teams. So it'll be very interesting to see what he does. Weist has got to come in with some of these pitching, just like every other team. But with $60 to just only need a couple pitchers and bench, I mean, he's got some fill-in on the offense. But going down further, who comes up here this year? McKay is not because he had a shoulder problem. Pearson, wherever he is, here he is. Pearson probably comes up. Nathan Lowe, he might be starting first base. Brandon Lowe's going to be Weist's second baseman. So Torres, he might be better than Torres right off the bat. So Torres goes to bench. Torres gets traded wherever he goes. Get out of here because Brandon Lowe is going to be that guy. So another point for Weist's offense coming from the Double-A down here. So other guys, he might bring Sixto up this year and let him run with some of these guys. So there's so many options for Country Strong that it's hard to believe that out of all of this slew of men that none of them are going to break out. I don't believe it. Like somebody's going to break out, and they're going to break out in a big way. And if they break out like this guy did, of course he was the number 2 prospect in baseball, but if they break out like he did, then come on, this 4 might not be good enough. But right now they're sitting at 4 because there is that chance that it's not the year yet. Last year I thought was the year, and I was wrong. I was just absolutely wrong. So now I'm kind of taking a pause and saying maybe I'm also wrong this year. Maybe not. We'll see. Number 3 is probably a team that none of you guys expected, Orlando. And you're going to sit here and say, what? Wait, what? Trout's gone. Springer's gone. Freeman's gone. I can't. Do you have Kershaw? Was it Kershaw or Scherzer? Yeah, one of them. He's gone. Like, how is Orlando still at the top 3? Well, I mean, if you look at the hitting, there's nobody here, so obviously we're not going off the hitting, but we're going off of cap availability, history, and starting pitching. So to start off with Lamet, I'm very, very scared for Lamet from a like arm perspective. So he came out last year. He had I believe it was a bicep problem, and he didn't pitch for the rest of the year. Generally, a bicep problem leads you to one thing, and that is Tommy John. And then San Diego goes out and signs 70 pitchers, which obviously seems to be a backup in case he can't pitch, or they know something and they're trying to save some skin here by getting around it. So I kind of alluded to this in the Double-A. San Diego is rather trying to protect Lamet or they're trying to protect Gore, and one of the two or both they don't think is going to pitch this year. And I don't know which one it is. It could be both. But, however, I also haven't heard anything that says, hey, this guy is still hurt or he's had a setback and, oh, he's not going to be ready. Or I haven't heard any of that at all. In fact, the news on him, if I'm not mistaken, is pretty light. Almost like nothing happened back last year. So if the reports of nothing is good news, then Lamet is gearing up and ready to go. This dude was amazing. You're looking at potentially 4 Cy Young winning pitchers all on the same team for a total of $10. Of course Walker Buehler's going to get more cash. That's true in the ARB section here, but I mean, if it's like Arenado, it's going to be under 10, and I don't know if anybody's really going to put a $24 spot on Walker Buehler. I know on Weist's list of cautious people, Walker Buehler has beaten, our analysis on arms because we had him pegged for, the old Tommy John a long time ago, but he's gone 4 years now basically without needing anything. So at this point, he looks like he's made it. And obviously you have actual Cy Young winner, the actual best pitcher in the game probably right now. So if you're taking 4 Cy Young, and Lamet almost won the Cy Young too, he was up there. So you're taking 4 guys who could easily win the Cy Young, 2 of which could probably easily win it any year. And you're going to add back into here, 80, high 70s dollars after Walker Buehler. This team is still good. Yes, they have the entire offense to get, and they're not going to get it from down here. But I will argue with all of you right now and say that what is easier to pick up during the auction? Cy Young winning pitchers or kind of your, this is obviously a great contract, but, some of these kind of middle tier like outfielders. Michael Brantley for Springfield here, he's a good player. He costs $150. Just let that sit in. So if Garrett Cole went to auction right now, he'd be high 20s. So all of these guys, I mean, maybe not Lamet because he's hurt, but if all 3 of these guys went to auction, Jeff would have $40 in cap left. So all that cap, it's coming right here. And I think that Jeff's history of being good at this game is scary with this much cap. It's kind of like Dip City, where it could go horribly wrong. But unlike Dip City, who only has Acuna, Jeff's got I'm sticking to this base. It's so hard to get pitching that looks like this. It just is. And he's got it, and he's going to run with it. So that's my rank there. I'm sticking with it. I bet you did not expect that one, and you probably didn't expect the top two, which you could probably figure out who they are. And number one's probably not who you think it is. So clickbait there, and let's outro. That's it, guys. That was pretty exciting. Let's tomorrow, top two, baby.